Hey, I'm Angie, and I'm breaking generational curses.
And that's on period, sis. Hey, we are back again with another episode of Period Sis. I'm your host, Mandii B. And listen, while sometimes I have the trigger warning, today it's a free-flowing conversation of literal womanhood. Now, we know our cultures affect us. We also know that there's societal pressures. But wait, then there's freaking health. We're talking thyroids today. That's right. What happens when you're actually diagnosed with something, but then you have to deal with your family asking you about your weight issues. But then society is like, but when you gonna give us a baby? It's so much that is thrown at us literally on a day-to-day basis. And our guest today is 29-year-old Angie, reigning from the Bronx. Do we have to do blah, blah,
Yes,
BX?
I feel like it.
First off, not you saying I feel like it, like you weren't just really loud. Angie, thank you so much for joining me today in this conversation on, I guess, all things. I ain't gonna hold you. You said, I got a 5-paragraph essay. I'm gonna tell you what being a woman is like, okay, today.
Yes, I appreciated the questions too, because I feel like there's so much that I want to share about that, like my experience in general.
I love it.
So I feel like giving all the detail possible, because it's just like, oh my God, somebody wants to hear this shit. So why not?
We need to. No one is really having the conversations, and I guarantee you, somebody listening is gonna be like, dang, she is me. I am her.
I feel like that too, because I actually, like, for a very long time, I struggled finding women that kind of like the same things that I like, or like just have similarities as me, because like growing up, I feel like we all like to pretend in my culture. So you're not open about it, right?
Let's get right into that.
Yes.
What is your background?
So I'm Dominican and Puerto Rican.
Oh, girl, not both.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Yes. And from the Bronx,
And
right?
from the Bronx.
And from the Bronx, yeah. And like, if you know about, do you know about the Bronx? You know about
First
the Bronx,
off,
right? Yeah, I know
First
you know
off,
about
don't
the
do
Bronx.
that.
Yes.
I lived 8 years in the Bronx. Shout out to Parkchester. Shout out to Castle Hill. Shout out to Elder Ave. All off the 6 train, baby. I'm Mandii from the block. I know there's Jenny.
Yes.
I'm Mandii from the block.
Okay, so you made it out the Bronx. That's it. If you make it out the Bronx, you made it anyway.
Hello.
I'm still there, but you know, like,
You made it. You here
yes,
with me today.
I'm here with you. So.
Okay, so Dominican and Puerto Rican from the Bronx.
Yes.
Then how does that affect women, I would say, growing up with that cultural background, but also the environment?
I want to say that the cultural background, Dominican is more strict than Puerto Rican, for sure.
Okay.
So my Puerto Rican side, I feel like they're a little bit more liberating than the Dominican side.
Okay.
Being Dominican is like a lot of pressure. You have to present a type of way, right? So you have to look a type of way as well. So we're taught very early on about your faja and, you know, how your posture. Wait
a second.
Yes.
Y'all are getting fajas before surgery? Wait,
yes.
Wait.
Yes.
Fajas are introduced to you how early in your upbringing?
So I got my period when I was, 10 years old. I got my first faja when I was 12.
I'm mind blown.
Yeah, when I was 12 years old.
This is for what? What does the faja do? What does it mean?
Formation. So they say, like my mom would say, like, you have to have a curve. Like, you know, if you're going to be thicker, you have to have a curve. And I mean, granted, like, I will say this, it did work in my favor. You know what I mean? Because I am thick with a curve. So it's like I saw at a young age, like, you have to look this type of way, right? And growing up in the Bronx, right, like, it's like a lot of hoe shaming. So it's like slut shaming, right? Like that's what they're calling it now. But back then, being a hoe wasn't a fun thing. So it's like, while I was having sex at 13, right, I was kind of like, oh shit, am I supposed to be doing this? Like, should I keep this?
Well, no, you wasn't supposed to be.
Right.
Okay,
but it happened.
Okay, but you were. So let's stay there for a little bit.
Yeah.
So not only are you not supposed to be sexually active or lean towards that because of the conservative cultural background,
right,
they're also shaping you a certain way to lead with your looks.
Yes.
So what did the conversation, how early did your family know that you were even sexually active?
So really the conversation happened because I had sex, right? And then at my high school, we had a clinic. So I go to the clinic. It wasn't a great experience. So I had to tell my mom. My mom and my dad were already separated at this point.
I need details, baby girl.
Okay.
Hold on. You went to the clinic at your school.
Yes.
Why?
So the school that I was at was a vocational high school.
Okay.
They had a clinic and a daycare.
I know that my high school had a daycare growing up as well. Yep. Okay. In Florida.
Wow.
Yep.
So I thought that was unique. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
So you already seen this, right? So you seeing teenagers with kids and all that stuff. So I'm like, let me go to the clinic because I'm having sex. I had the first time unprotected sex with my boyfriend.
Okay.
So I'm like, I don't want a baby because one of my classmates had a baby and I saw what that was like. So I go to her and she's like, how old is your boyfriend? My boyfriend was 17.
Okay.
And he was, I think he was already going into college. So he was 17, about to turn 18.
And you were how old at this time?
13, about to be 14. I'm in my freshman year.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's like, so she's a older black lady. And she's like, you shouldn't be doing that because he's only using you for one thing. So my response, and I remember this because in my heart, I was like, he loves me. He loved me. Yeah, he loved me a lot. So I'm like, no. I was like, we've been together for a while.
Right.
I knew him because he was my brother's friend. So I was like, no. So then she asks me to get on the table. And I never even had that conversation with my parents. What was that about? So I'm like, I don't want to. So I'm like, can I just get a check? How can you check me without me getting on the table? But remember, I'm 13.
Right.
So I'm
Did
not
you think
knowing.
you was just going to cough?
I have no idea. Right. Literally, yeah.
I'm grown enough to be having sex, but Miss Lady.
You're not going in there.
You're not going in there.
Yeah.
But you knew health-wise you wanted to make sure that.
I just, literally, I don't even know if I wanted an STD check or if I wanted to make sure I wasn't pregnant. You know what I mean?
You just was like, check me, lady, but
don't
go
check
in there.
Yeah, but I wanted to pee in a cup or something, like what you see on TV. Yeah. So at that point, I'm like, I don't want to do this. And then I go out. So they had a little waiting area. The little reception lady, she's talking to me in Spanish. She's like, listen, she's just going to check you. And I'm like, I don't want her to put nothing in me. I don't want that. I just want to get checked. So they make me pee in a cup. I was fucking traumatized. So I go home and I'm freaking out and I'm like, I want to talk to you about something. My mom was a crier. So, right. So she's crying and she's like, why did you feel like you had to do it? I didn't feel like I had to. I wanted to. I wanted to,
right.
I didn't know what it was, but I knew that I liked what I was feeling, So then from there, she takes me to the clinic. And it wasn't a horrible experience because she was there.
Right.
But I feel like, there comes a point where you're just like, I need to know what to do with my body. And those things weren't made clear to me, I was put on birth control.
Immediately.
They put me on the pill immediately. And I was just like, okay, so my mom just told me, you have to take those not to get pregnant.
Did you, knowing that you came to your mom about this, she takes you to the clinic, is there further conversation after you're on birth control? Did you guys, clearly the baby is what I think most moms are concerned about, but was there a conversation about the STDs and other risks that come with unprotected sex?
No. So there wasn't. And I have an older sister, right?
Okay.
So I feel like maybe she would have wanted to talk to me about it, but I also didn't confide in her about this stuff because I was more comfortable sharing things with my mom. She was less strict.
Okay. Your mom was less strict than your sister?
Yes. Because she was always out. You know, so she was always out working and I was kind of home with my sister. So my sister was kind of like, I was her baby.
That's who raised you?
Yeah, that's who raised me.
Okay.
Yeah, no, fully. So yeah, there was no further conversation. And then it was kind of awkward, when they would bring up sex to me because it's nobody really told me about these things. So no, there was nothing.
You got your period at, I would say,
9, 10.
Kind of the age a lot of us do.
Yeah.
Your faja comes, you start having sex, you go to the clinic, you get tested, you do all these things, you get on birth control. At the time, did you at least have a peer group or homegirls to talk to? Was there anyone for you to have these conversations with, or did you just have to live with all of this and figure it out in your mind?
Wow, when you put it like that. So look, literally, I was more advanced because I feel like I went through so much early, right? So I saw a lot. I was exposed to a lot. And a lot of my friends weren't having sex.
Okay.
You know, so I think that I had maybe one homegirl that like she was having sex, but she was like all over the place with it, right? So she wasn't able to like have those conversations with me, you know?
Got you.
So no, like I don't think there was somebody that I could be like, hey girl, are you doing it too? You know, like, and then my best friend we're still best friends, but she's in that household too, of a two-parent household, Dominicans, very strict, very like conservative. So it was just kind of like I'm having sex and I am feeling a little judged because by the age of like, not to jump ahead, but by the age of 14, 15, I start going clubbing.
Yep.
You know? Yeah. And it's a different group of friends now.
Of course it is, because it's the ones with the fake IDs.
Exactly. So now I'm hanging out with my sister and her homegirls.
Okay.
And they're knowing I'm having sex, but they don't know how to have that conversation with me.
Of course.
Because it's like, she's a baby.
And no one, again, none of us even know anything about it. Let's be very clear. We don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
So I do want to jump a little bit ahead then. Yeah. Your family knows you're having sex.
Yeah.
There's still probably conversations about your body as well. What did that look like as you were getting older, right before, I guess, leaving the house or, you know, becoming an adult?
So I left the house originally to go to Buffalo. So I went away to college.
Okay.
So at that point, we didn't even visit the doctor regularly. So I just want to put that out there. Like, it was so weird. So we had like a dentist that was inside of an apartment. Like, it was just some ghetto shit happening. You know, like that's how I can put it. Shit. Yeah, some very Bronx shit. So people are like teaching me, right? Like I'm listening. I'm not saying much. But when people are saying like they're going to Planned Parenthood, you know, I'm like, oh, Planned Parenthood. You know, like let me write this down because I don't know, you know.
Oh,
like,
wow.
So it went that far, right? Where
so your, I guess, healthcare knowledge blossomed when you got to college.
When I got to college.
Wow.
When I got to college, and it wasn't even like it was like an abortion experience, you know, like unfortunately. Like that's what led to me being like, no, I think I gotta go to the doctor, you know, like so already at this point, my mom is going to the doctors for other reasons, right? She's sick. She has cancer. So I know she has to go to the doctor. But I'm thinking to myself, like, when the hell does somebody take me to the doctor? Because my friends were going to the doctor with their parents.
But you never had that experience?
No. Like, I would go if I had, like, the flu, you know? But I never went to the doctor. And, like, I wish, like, if my sister was here, she would be like, yeah, like, it was weird. We never went to the doctor. Like, we would go to, like I said, somebody's house. Like, it was that type of vibe.
So I hope you didn't think I didn't hear what you said. So your first going to the doctor was an abortion experience.
Yeah.
And from that experience, that's when you're like, I should probably get a checkup. Like, could you share kind of what that experience was like as that kind of being your first? Did you have to, I assume you had to open your legs for that one. Like, and you didn't want to, you had that experience early on in high school and grade school. So then what was that experience like? And did you do it alone? Did you have friends at that time?
So I did have friends. So the two friends came with me from high school to Buffalo. So we go to college together. We end up dorming together, right?
Okay.
So before leaving to college, I am partying and working at night, right? Okay. So at just any club that I can get into, I'm doing it, right? Because that's just like what you do.
Yep.
So I was at the time 17 and I was dating somebody super older than me. He didn't really know about my age. It became a whole thing. So we went for like EOP, like a early summer program. And I know that something's wrong with me. Like, I know that I was like, no, like I have to either be pregnant or I'm fucking dying. You know, like something's happening.
You're like, my body is not the same.
It's not right. So then one of my friends was like, why don't we go to Planned Parenthood? And I was like, okay. I was like, we're going to go.
Honey, this was in your notes somewhere. You were like, Planned Parenthood, that's where the girls go.
Yes, okay. Literally. I'm like, I've heard this one before. So we go. It was comfortable. That experience was comfortable because I think the lady, she knew how uncomfortable I was. Okay. You know, like all I kept asking her was like, I just really don't want to be pregnant. You know, like I didn't even ask her about STDs. And then she said to me, well, one, how long have you been having unprotected sex with this guy? So then that kind of woke something up in me that was like, shit, no, I have to be checking for this stuff too.
Yep.
So I told her, like, you know, kind of what I told you, like, I just don't know, like, you know, if there's anything there, you know, like, how can you help me? Because I didn't know.
Wow.
And so we did the STD check, we did the HIV, and everything was good. And then I was waiting for that freaking pregnancy test, and it came back positive. And at that moment, I was like, I'm not telling nobody. I'm not telling my mom. I couldn't,
Right.
because one, I knew what that would do to them, right? Like mentally, and it shouldn't have been like that. But I just knew they were going to be so disappointed in me, right? Because they molding me, they wanted me to be in softball. They wanted me to be in college.
But not only that, culturally, what does pregnancy look like I don't want to say that your Dominican experience or Puerto Rican experience speaks for everyone, but culturally, what did they see as a timeline for you as a woman? Did you have to be married first? Should you have been with someone for a long time? Was there a certain age you were supposed to get pregnant? Like, what was that timeline, or was it even discussed?
So it wasn't discussed, right? And I kind of feel like they were full of shit about it because, actually, it was just a whole bunch of bullshit. Because as you get older, you realize, what were you guys saying to me when you guys did this so early?
Trying to keep you from doing the same thing they did?
Right.
That's it.
But not being honest, because they're not having that honest conversation with me. So the timeline for me was that I went to college, I became a doctor, which I had no...
Girl, do you know how long?
Right.
They said, I never want you to get pregnant.
Yes.
Or have a husband.
Yeah.
Because becoming a doctor takes a lot of years.
And I had no interest in it. So that was the problem, that I had I've always been a writer, right? So I always did some type of creative shit.
Right.
And nobody said to me hey, why are we sending, it was 6 hours away. Buffalo, 6 hours away from my house. But I remember my mom telling me she wanted me to leave the Bronx.
Okay.
So she was like, go. But
and then you leave the Bronx and get pregnant.
Well, I was pregnant on my way. You know what I mean? Because I got pregnant in the summertime. So by the time I got to college, it was...
See, that's why she wanted you to get out the Bronx.
Right, yeah.
So you have this experience. It goes well. You have the abortion. You keep it to yourself.
Yeah.
I want to speed up the timeline a little bit with your then journey of finally visiting the doctor and finding out other things about your body.
Yes. Okay. So, I come back from Buffalo early. I didn't get to become a doctor, y'all. So, surprise, surprise, right? I'm not a doctor, but so I leave college, and I'm back in the Bronx, right? And they're I felt funny because my mom passed, and I'm I have to go to the doctor because I smoke, right? And I'm drinking, and at this time, I'm smoking Black & Miles. You know what?
That's you saying I gotta go to the doctor because I'm smoking Black & Miles.
Yeah, and I'm
not crack, y'all. Right. She said Black & Miles.
Black & Miles, yeah. So and in college they tell you to freak them, right? So you take out the cancer paper. That's not real, right? So sorry, but I go and I'm thinking to myself, I'm in this apartment. I'm what is the next step for me? So there's a doctor up the block from me, and everybody told me good things about him, everybody from my neighborhood, because I'm back in the same neighborhood I grew up in. So I go to him. He's super nice, but he's super old, right?
Okay.
So he's telling me, we're going to run all these tests on you. I told him the truth. I felt one moment I'm very small. The next moment I'm very big. I am athletic. I do like to work out, and I eat somewhat healthy. I'm not eating crazy. So I don't know what's going on. Boom. He tells me, you do have thyroidism, so it's a hyperthyroidism.
When he said that, were you huh?
Yes.
What is that?
Yes.
Okay.
So I have an aunt, right, that so my aunt has got lipo. She has got, everything that you could think of, she has got in it, but she always gets big.
Oh.
Right. Because she has a thyroid issue as well. And I don't know if it's hypo or hyper.
Okay.
But hers might be the hyper. Because
yours is fluctuating.
It fluctuates now.
Okay.
Now it fluctuates.
So he tells you have this.
Yeah.
But as someone who never goes to the doctor, were you oh my God, I'm dying? What?
No, you say it like that, but that's what I thought for real.
You was let me Google this thing.
Yes.
So he had just let you know that this is actually the reason why your weight fluctuates so much.
And he also did it because he's older Indian guy, so they're sometimes a little aggressive. So he was touching me right here, and he's you didn't feel that? You don't feel your neck is thicker? And I'm yeah, I just thought genuinely, I had no idea. I knew that this was bothering me, and I knew sometimes I had problem swallowing, pause, but like, you know, like.
You're so wrong. Not you pause and swallowing. We allowed to swallow.
We are allowed to swallow.
I mean, everyone's allowed to swallow.
But it be hard sometimes, you know, like, because of the thyroidism. Now I understand. But like, so.
How did he explain it to you in a way that made you understand? And then what kind of things did he say you needed to change about your lifestyle?
So I don't think that still to this day, if I'm being quite frank, that there's a pinpoint that I can be like, this is what it is, right? So you have an overactive thyroid. Okay. Like, you know what I mean? Is it doing
jumping jacks?
Right,
what does that mean?
Yeah, so like basically I know that my body isn't producing something or it's overproducing something at times. Why is it happening? They don't even know, right? But what they tell you is that you have to take a medication.
Okay.
So the medication, I don't know I don't want to say the wrong name, right?
Okay.
So
that's fine.
Right.
But it's a medication.
So they give you pills for it. And he tells me that basically, like, you know, we put you on this. This is a for life thing. So that does happen because I did do my research about it. People are on medication for the rest of their life.
And so it's something you were told to take daily?
Daily. And I didn't want to. I was just like, okay, I took the pills and I was like, all right, cool. Like, I'm just not coming back here. Because I explained to him, like, I don't want to be committed. At the time, I was 19. So I don't want to be committed to something forever. There has to be a way that I could change this. You know what I mean? Like, this is my body, and I think that there should be a way. My sister, at the time, is in Thailand. So she tells me that we're going to figure this out. So I'm like, okay, cool. Because there does come a point where when you have, like, thyroidism, it can turn into cancer.
Yeah.
That was my main concern. I was like, I live a okay lifestyle, but I do drink, you know, I go out, I smoke, I hang out. So do I have to stop fucking everything? And she's like, girl, she's like, it's not that deep. She's like, there's a way. Yeah.
You're like, I just want to be here long, but wait, I want a martini tonight.
Right, yeah.
Is it going to affect it?
Literally.
And I mean, I'm not going to lie. I think what's crazy is, especially in this, I don't want to say that we're hypersensitive, but with the growing knowledge of things that go on with our body, we do get immediately put that, well, you need to change your diet. You shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be doing that. You literally, and we think it's like, you have to stop living your life.
Right.
So then you decide, I'm not going to take this medication. Yeah. Also because I ain't grow up going to the goddamn doctor.
Right.
I don't trust these people. So you don't want to take the medication. What did your holistic journey look like with thyroidism? And then how do you also just make sure you're doing what's best for your body?
So I'm going like this because it was stressful. Like, you see me going like, yeah, it was stressful because, so I did a detox, and it's called Surviving Vegan Detox, right?
Okay.
So it
sounds like
it was hell.
Some YouTube shit.
It was.
Surviving Vegan Detox?
Yeah. It's a 10-day detox, right? So you started off.
Where? Girl, where you saw this at?
So just, well, like, my sister sent it to me. I was about to name drop, but yeah, my sister sent it to me. And she's like, we're gonna, like, she wanted me to cleanse my body because I did at the time eat pork. I don't eat pork no more. So I did the
a Dominican
detox.
That don't eat.
That's another issue, right? No pork.
I cannot believe that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm here for you.
Listen, so I do the detox, and then I start to change my diet. So, like, I'm not drinking milk, whole, like cow milk, no cheese, you know, like cutting down on dairy.
Right.
So, like, now I have cheated a little bit, so then that goes to weight gain, right? So now I know better because now I could tell when my body's, like, kind of rejecting stuff. So I do ashwagandha, but not ashwagandha in the gummy form. I'm doing ashwagandha powder. Okay. So I put it in my water, I mix it up with some chlorophyll, and I'm drinking it. So that became my routine for maybe 3 to 6 months. But this is a time in my life where, like, I'm also not emotionally stable. So it just felt like I was just doing it. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't as hard as maybe it would be now because I was just like,
well, that was also 10 years ago. I would say, what is your current journey like? Yeah, listen, you ain't even that old, girl. Right. Cut it out. You ain't even 30 yet. So what does your current journey look like with your body and getting your checkups, being more considerate about having unprotected sex or communicating things with your partner? What does that look like after having this experience growing up, kind of unaware of the healthcare system?
So I feel that now I know how to draw boundaries with doctors now. So before, where I would just want to run away, you know, like, because you're young, you're like not sure of what to say to them. So I did have an experience where it was weird, right? But I know how to talk to them because it's like, you need to help me. Okay. You know what I mean? Like, right. You need to tell me something. So I went to the doctor. I told them like, hey, I'm doing X, Y, and Z. Is this supposed to feel like this? You know what I mean? Like
what felt like what?
Sorry, you're right. So I did anal. And then
wait, you went to the doctor
because I did anal, right? Yes.
I love that you have such a great relationship now with going to the doctor.
Right.
Okay.
Because also just sidebar, I don't have nobody else to ask in my family. Like there's no elders in my family. Like that I can go to and feel comfortable. Like, hey, like, what do you do? What is this supposed to be like? It's just me and my sister. So she is a lesbian. So there is no...
Look, you're like, okay.
Like, listen, she'd be like, girl, I don't know. Like, I don't know what to tell you. And
but now you've grown that comfortability with going to the doctor and asking questions.
Right. I don't feel like it's a comfortability. I feel like it's more so like, I know that this is what I have to do type a situation. You know what I mean? Like, because who else are you going to go to? Like, so I decided to go to like a clinic that they just do like STD checks and stuff like that. Because now I know my general doctor's not for that.
Right.
Like there's a STD doctor for that. So
an STD doctor is funny because you can't actually get STD tests from your doctor.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. No, that's right. That's a real thing. You're right. Yes. But you know what I mean? Like a guy
STD doctor.
Right. So it's like I go to this doctor and then she's just kind of like explaining to me like that we weren't meant for that, right? So, right.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Listen, I was like, like
not the doctor to go to.
Yeah, I
think that anytime a woman goes to the doctor to ask real questions about a sexual experience or to get tested, if that doctor responds immediately by telling you shouldn't be doing something or the number of your partners is too high or you should abstain or immediately goes to shaming you, that 100% needs to be a red flag that that's not the doctor for you to be talking to.
Agreed. And I feel like the shaming, I don't know if it's like a cultural thing that we don't know we're shaming each other, but the shit has to stop. Because it gets to the point where it's just like, even like I've heard a lot the term girls, right? Like I hear that everywhere now. And I'm like, that's not even real. Because some of y'all be sitting here low-key being shady. And you can't have certain conversation with certain people then you're not comfortable enough.
Right.
And I feel like that with the doctor, right? Like I felt like, why are you telling me that that's not what it's for? I already did it. So now tell me, is that shit normal or not?
But preventative, what do I do the next time? How can I prevent from this taking place? I want to ask you then, before we get out of here.
Yeah.
At 29 years old now.
Yes.
Having all of these experiences now with not being educated by your family, not feeling safe there, not fully feeling safe with the doctor, but now leaning into doctors. What advice would you want to give your younger self about really checking in with your body? Like, in what ways do you feel like you neglected your own body for so many years by not having the education or a safe space?
I would say to my younger self, also because the generations are different, right? So now you have Google and shit.
Now you have TikTok.
Right, now you have TikTok so you can look it up. But I would definitely say to like love on you a little harder. Like your body is not, like, it's not all you have to offer. Like it's okay to keep your body to yourself. And it's also okay to ask those questions. Don't let nobody make you feel uncomfortable. You need to be comfortable in your skin.
But also, did that man really love you? That first one?
No, I don't think so. But he's still back. He's still back. He's spin the block, but like...
Now he's spin the block. I want you to speak to our listeners that may have also been raised in a Dominican or Puerto Rican household or in just a family that also didn't educate them. What would you advise them? How would you advise them to advocate for themselves to get the information that you think they need?
I say to like break away a little bit.
Okay.
I think that sometimes we're scared of the unknown, right? We're scared to be alone. And when you break away from that family, because I think families would, the people that love you and make you feel good, you are going to find a whole new you. You're going to feel comfortable in your skin. And if your family doesn't accept you for who you are or makes you feel uncomfortable when you walk in the room with whoever you walk in the room with, then that's not family. They're not having that conversation with you. They don't want you to be safe. And they want to mold you we're not meant to be molded. You create yourself. So I think that just step away from that. Like, pull yourself a little bit far from that family. And if it's hard, it's because every change is hard. That's how I see it.
And is.
Yeah.
Angie, thank you so much for the conversation. Oh my God, you was fun. We don't have to bring you back.
Thank you.
Let everyone know where they can follow you, where they can listen to you, and also what you have going on.
Okay, so you can find me at NYC Thickums. you could also find me at This Bronx Girl Writes. So right now, what I have going on is my blog. I just blog about urban societal pressures as well, like what we have going on. I use it to educate people because I think that this is great. Like, this platform is great.
Thank you.
Because the way that you speak is nice. People understand it.
I'd be at a loss for words.
That's lovely. But we need that. Be at a loss. Yeah.
Be at a loss for words, but I want to talk.
Yes.
And spread the message.
Same.
Okay.
Yes. So I do it in writing.
Okay.
Yeah. So I do it in writing, and I feel, you could check me out there. That's my website as well. thisbronxgirlwrites.com.
I love it. And the links for those to reach out and also read her writing will be available in the description of this week's episode. Thanks for tuning in to another empowering episode of Period Sis. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so you never miss an episode. Catch the full episodes on YouTube. And remember, new episodes drop every Wednesday. And that's on Period Sis.